There we go. I don't know if it makes a difference, um, but what I'm going to be doing here is I put it on our Blythe doll so that you can see what it looks like, and I'm going to put her to the side and then sew. And what I'm doing now is I'll give you a review of what the dress is. Because it's black, I went ahead and gave her, or the dress, let's call her, fully lined all the way down to the cuffs. The cuffs are going to be folded in, and I have this one here already in the works. I turned it inside out, and here is our cuffs, and here is our little handle here. So I went ahead and pushed it in, and the dress, as you saw, has the little, um, let me see, let's move this inside out here. So let's, I went ahead and pinned the, the needle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I went ahead and put that in here as my little help of getting the form. So this is how the dress looks. We have a complete dress on the inside, and we have a complete dress on the outside. So what I'm going to do is push this in like I did on the other one, and then push it completely together out. So I went ahead and did this for cosmetic purposes to show you. So now, and I pushed it in, and now I'm going to push it completely out. It gets kind of tricky, and this is the reason why I stopped where I was at to give this tutorial of a completely lined outfit. And like I mentioned, I did this because the dress is black, it is cotton, so I don't trust it, and I want my customers to be completely satisfied. And what I did over here is going to go ahead and push it through. It is a little bit tedious, but when you have the end result, it's going to be totally worth it, or at least it is for me. So I took the fold all the way to cover the cotton lining. And I'm going to measure this because I need this. I need to make sure that the measurement is going to be equal so that we have an equal cuff for the second one. So it's probably going to be like a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. So let's see here. Okay, there's our 1/4 of an inch. So it is just a tiny bit over 1/4 of an inch. So I'm used to seeing the ruler, and I'm used to seeing it on fabric, or I have filtered eyes for the measurements, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, an inch, 2 inches. So basically by looking at it, I could probably guesstimate. But when it's important like this, I go ahead and actually measure it. So I'm going to get started and start at the connection here, at the seam, and I'm going to, since I'm doing the slide, it may take a while, and same with the other one. So hopefully it won't take no more than 3 minutes. So right now I'm fussing around because I want to do a light sewing. So I'm doing a one string sewing here, and taking all this little extra threads because it could confuse me as I'm moving along, and it's a lot cleaner. So hopefully this is being a live stream on Saturday. Oh no, it's Sunday. I tend to lose a day. So Saturday, doesn't Saturday just whiz by it does to me. I'm looking forward to Saturday to relax, and it's just my relaxing is gone in a blink of an eye. So just did a couple of chores, did my pots and pans and dishes, and I have my coffee here next to me. So fully energized. Um, and I'm going to speed this up here. So this is what I do here for the fully lined. Sometimes I go ahead and do it to where you can do an outfit inside out, but I don't recommend it for this one. And the reason why I'm doing it, like I mentioned before, it's because it's black and gray, and the color could rub off on your vinyl dolls. And this is going to be for Blythe. So don't want that to happen. And don't want that on my conscience. So it's actually very beautiful to do this, to have a very nice custom dress for your dolls. And we are done with the first one. So I'm going to show you how to prepare and do the other one. And I could not do this. I could possibly do this, record it and then upload it, but I think I've mentioned it a few times. I don't know why. So here is, I have this, what this is a paintbrush, a very tough paintbrush, and I put it in here. So I'm going to use this as my guide. So I'm going to hold it on the tip and push it through, and hopefully it's going to go ahead and push. So now that I have most of it in there, I'm going to now push it, and as soon as I get a little bit of help, I'm going to pull it. There we go. So here we go. That wasn't so bad. So I'm going to do the same here. Just take that out. Put my my little guide. It's a really good guide here. So after I do this, I am literally going to cross my fingers and hope that the cuffs on the outside view are equal. And if they're not, I'm going to complete the video by sewing it together just to show you what would be the next step, and then off video do the corrections. So I'm going to do this gently here to make sure I have a good fold and a complete solid even measurement. So now it's time to go ahead and measure this again. The other one was a little bit over 1/4 of an inch, so I'm a little bit there at the same. If you remember, you can go back. It's just one more little digit over, but it's going to be okay. I'll tug it around here. So we're 3 minutes from now, which is what I guess it took me to do the other one. I'm going to go ahead and sew this, and I'm also looking at the camera, and our little Blythe is not looking at us, so come here, little Blythe. So just a simple stitch, and I'm very careful to make sure that it does not get part of the dress on the outside. And just a little bit of a backstory. This dress, or this material, I got it many years ago, and it was when I was doing custom dresses for people, and I would be doing themed costumes, and I did do a Lolita dress with this in a beautiful, I think I have the pattern. It's a vintage 1950s pattern, and I made it into a Lolita dress, and then I made it into a Disney theme the same fabric. I made it into a Disney theme of the Haunted Mansion style dress with the Haunted Mansion table napkins, the cotton table napkins. And I used the napkins, or two of them, complete ones. They're long, and it's of the people when you're in the haunted house and it stretches. It was that, and it was such a fabulous dress. I also used velvet black trim for embellishment on that dress, and I still have some of that velvet trim. So fabulous, but something that I stopped doing and went fully um, fully on making, for many years, making doll clothes. So hopefully you liked a little bit of that backdrop while we were doing this. And here we have, take this out, here is our little dress, and here is the outside part. So now I'm going to go ahead and slowly again push this outwards, and I don't try to force it because now I have double fabric. So I don't want to force it too much, and I'm trying to get it at an angle to where I can start pulling it out with my fingernail, and I don't have that much fingernail, so I could use some tweezers, which I have here, I believe. I might need it for the other one. So here we go. Moment of truth. Look how pretty the cuff is. And I'm putting my thumb here. My thumb is over here, so I'm using that to push out as much. And see, we have some white cuff showing. So here's a moment of truth, like I was mentioning. And here's our adorable, cute little dress. So on this side, I have exactly, here's the 1/4 of an inch, here's the beginning, and here's the end. So we have exactly a 1/4 of an inch here. And we're just a little bit shy. So I'm going to keep on pulling here, because there is fabric. There's definitely fabric in there. So let's try it again. So we're just a little bit shy, just 1 digit off, but it won't be that noticeable. It looks perfect over here, actually. So it might be the way I'm folding it. So let's do Blythe little modeling, and after this we're going to finish off the dress. But for the purpose of seeing what this looks like, and this is very easy to put on our little Blythe doll. And I'm going to let me see, she's being held over here a little bit. Okay, there we go. It's just the way it is in there. And we're going to iron this again, press it down, and our dress is going to get slightly shorter because we're going to connect it. So here's Blythe in her little dress, and onward to completing this. So I'm going to move her hair. Definitely don't want to sew the hair. So now that I have a little opening here and I have a little opening there. So I'm going to sew the bottoms together, match it with, for now, match it with the connection of the front and the side, and do the same for the other one. And I do like to fold this out so there's no bulkiness in the inside. And I'm going to look for the others. And since they're done equally, this should be a perfect match on the seams. And then on the back. Okay, there's a lot of thread. Yes, I know it happens all the time, but this is cotton. So I'm going to sew the dress, and I went ahead and did the correct material together. So now we're in the inside part. I'm going to sew this ever so short, and I have a tight stitch. So I'm looking forward to not having to undo this, because when I have it in a tight stitch, it's always hard to take it apart. Okay. And I am sewing it so close to the edge because I want to keep as much of the fabric as I can. Okay, and the reason why I had the little sides open on both sides is because I'm going to sew it together, and I'm trying to pull. I think it's going to be easy for me to do this. Get it from one side and pull it out. There's no need to close the other one because you need it to be open in order to sew it together. And I'll show you right now what I'm talking about sewing it together. So doing this ever so gently and slowly, as much as I can. And this is a good time. I already went ahead and pressed it, but this is a good time to use whatever means you have to pull out and section off the fabric like that. And then I'm going to seam it through. And this is our opening part right here. Right here and right here that we saw. So now I could sew this together here with black thread. Put it together here and sew it together with black thread. Or I can go ahead and do it very quickly. Let me see if I have here. I can do it very quickly and just baste it closed and have this done. But since I have white thread already, I'm going to go ahead, for the sake of the video, put a pin on it and close it. So this is what I mean about closing. I put the pin, and you see the connection there, and I'm going to try to get as much as possible close to the edge right here. And I am pushing with my fingers. I'm pushing the lining away. And with my needle and thread, I'm going to finish off the little part that I won't get to sew. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle there and sew on through straight. And I'm following the edge of the fabric, and I'm pulling, getting my needle out, and I'm pulling this out. And I won't be able to get to sew the inside, but I will be able to sew it with the needle and thread. So there's no use for this now. And we're gonna take a look over here. And with my needle and thread now, I will finish the sewing that I ended right here. And with my white thread, I'm going to start right there, exactly at the end, and do 2 little notches, and just now sew up sew up to the where I ended, and then go back down. And I'm gonna go up a little bit further than where I sewed it with the machine, and go in and out and close that up. And you'll see how just this little bit is going to clean up the connection in the back. Okay, I'm going to put a knot on it and do a knot for my future use of this thread. Have it ready to go. And now I will show you what this looks like. There we go. I can now eventually take that out, and in the back I'm going to do the same. I could either push this in and then fold it, which would be the easiest way to do this. And I'm going to do this live to have a complete tutorial of how to manage a dress, a fully lined dress. And hopefully you'll be with me. Stick around. So I went ahead and pinned it in there, and I'm just going to go ahead, now that I have that done, just tuck it in. Tuck it in, and with your white thread, start sewing it at the end, and within possibly 1 minute we're gonna have an almost completed Wednesday Adam dress. And I say almost completed because the last thing to do is to put a snap in the back. So I'm going to do a very simple little basting sewing. I am keeping it tight because after all, it's only going to be 1 minute. And it's better to do it nice and clean because this dress is going to be going to somebody. And I know that they would appreciate a very beautiful dress inside and out. So within just a couple of seconds we'll be done and do the complete little turnaround and showcase. And I'm going to see how much fabric I have because I already have the lining cut out. So I already have the lining done for a next dress. And I will be doing a solid black dress of this style. But if I can do another one, I will go ahead and do it and list it. You'll be able to see if you go to my Mercari shop that this dress is sold. So I'm going to pull that out. I got a bubble, and there. Close it up higher than the outside, so that if the outside starts to, after time, for whatever reason, starts to open up, we will have most of it secure in the inside. So here we are doing a double knot and doing a double knot for the next use of this thread. And quickly I'm going to turn this around, and there we go. It's okay if we have a little bit of a little gather here, but not on the outside. So one last look at our completely lined dress. And I do this for my darker fabric. And if you happen to have a little bit of white showing, what I do is iron it. I'm going to iron it. And when I do, I'm going to give it just a little bit and do a little stitch hold here and a stitch hold here and in the back to keep it. higher. If she's going to be wearing white nylons, then it won't be too terribly noticeable. So here's our little dress, our little Wednesday Adam dress, and we're going to try this on now, completed on Blythe. And I use this right here to put her sleeves on first, and you'll get to see how I managed to do that. And first thing is first, to get it over the cuff, and I hold on to it so that it doesn't go back down because it's not fully placed. Once it's over her shoulder, you know, it's going to be away from the cuff. So here we are. So quickly is our little Blythe dressed in her little dress. It's not hers. She's going to model, so she's going to have to say goodbye. I'm going to cut this here, this thread that was holding it, and I'm going to press it down, put her snap behind, and this is what it looks like from behind. A very clean and complete little dress. And moving her hair out either this way or this way. I think I'm going to do this way since we have a little bit more fabric. And her view over here with her little white little collar. And I'm going to iron this and do a little stitching to hold it down. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I will be doing more dresses for Blythe doll. Have a great weekend, or whenever you're watching this. And remember, I'll be here for the next live or upload of Blythe doll sewing or other doll sewing. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.